Hey, it's Tuesday.
Yep.
It's SJU. I'm Joe. Dan. Hey, buddy.
Hey.
Danielle.
What?
Your name is Spencer.
Welcome
Your name is
back.
not Buddy.
I'm Buddy.
That's a name. Some people are named Buddy.
I know. No insult to them.
No,
It's a
no
fine
insult to
name
them.
for a real human and not a dog at all.
I would like to look. I would like to look up the the etymology of the name Buddy for people. Like, who was just like, you know what, my kid's gonna be a good friend to folks. Let's call
Well, I
him
don't
Buddy.
think it's okay. Whatever. We'll discuss this in a different video.
No, right now. Guys, we're talking Shazam 2. We're talking Netflix buying a brick and mortar theater, which is weird to me. We're also, I don't know, what else are we doing? Monsters, Inc., the voice cast is coming back for Disney+. Let's jump into it.
SJU Slow News Day.
Slow News Day! Let's go! Shazam 2, it's officially on. This is via Deadline. This is no surprise. It opened to almost $160 million around the world this weekend. For more information on that, you can watch Dan's wonderful video, Charting, which came out yesterday. Make sure you watch it. So obviously not a shocker to hear that the New Line DC Shazam movie is being primed for a sequel. Deadline has confirmed that the Pixar original screenwriter, Hedrick Gayden, is returning to work on Part 2, based on Bill Parker and C.C. Peck's comic. David F. Sandberg, the director, is expected to return as well as the producer, Peter Safran. So full original team, currently planning to come back until someone poaches them because they like Shazam for a lot more money. Lord and Miller style, and then someone else has to decide and do it. But for now, whole original team in there. Like Marvel's Ant-Man, Shazam was moved to by DC to expand its feature fare to families, being a little more family friendly, be a little more welcoming to all ages. With the conceit again from New Line being kind of a body switch movie, like Big, being mixed with a superhero movie with sort of a weird little Goonies feel. I'm bad at movies, haven't seen Shazam yet. You have an excuse, you haven't seen Shazam yet.
I haven't been out of the house.
Yeah, you have not.
Six weeks.
So sure, I'm excited about Shazam 2. How about you guys? Excited about Shazam 2?
Very.
Talk about this for a minute.
Yeah, I'm literally going to go see it tonight.
Oh, well, as a
I'm
Shazam
very
expert at the table.
Yes. For more on this, we go to Dan. Dan?
I'm very excited about seeing more Shazam, because I really like Shazam. I thought it was a really good movie. It was fun. It had a lot of great humor in it. I liked the characters. It was the best Superman movie that didn't ever feature Superman in it, and better than some Superman movies that did feature Superman. I really, really liked that movie a lot, and so I'm excited. We knew the sequel was coming because The Rock is not in.
That's what I was gonna say. Isn't there a
this one.
Shazam sequel already being made?
Well-
about Black Adam?
The Rock, depending on whom you talk to, either The Rock or someone else decided that Black Adam should not be in the first film because they wanted to focus on Shazam's origins. That was the correct choice.
Yeah, I think that's a smart one.
Because it is a really, really good film and sets up a lot of cool stuff and doesn't feel overstuffed and would have. So you've got The Rock on deck. You know that if you make a sequel with The Rock, and this is a good movie that people like, that it's going to make a little bit more money, hopefully. So I don't think it's a shocker that Shazam 2 is getting made. We talked about it on Charting yesterday, the fact that like it's a pretty good start. It didn't do great, for example, in China. However, again, if you have The Rock on board, then I think your fortunes in China, the Chinese market particularly, improve vastly, because now you have an international superstar in your movie. So this is no surprise. But
No Zach Levi slander.
no slander to Zachary Levi, but I think The Rock might be a little bigger in China than he is. So I'm excited
Chuck
to see.
fans in China.
Yeah, Chuck
Was he Chuck?
Yeah,
was Chuck.
Okay, good.
Okay,
Yeah, there's
I
a
don't
Chuck.
remember who was Chuck.
He was also a Warrior 3
Oh.
Yeah.
in the original Warriors 3.
for like a minute, but now it's Shazam.
The one they recast and you didn't realize they recast.
Errol Flynn looking
Errol
one.
Flynn, the
Yeah.
Robin
Which
Hood
is
guy,
why
yeah.
Shazam, very good decision for him to leave the MCU.
Yep.
He's
Yes.
like, oh, I can either be wallpaper,
Yeah.
or I can be a movie star.
Yeah. So, but I really like the movie, so I'm excited to see a sequel.
Well, the rest of us will see it someday because we are bad at this.
Well, I mean, the word of mouth thing is legit. I haven't heard a single person who didn't love the film. So
Yeah.
I guess I have to go now. Great.
Yeah, yeah. My
Wonderful.
question is,
Stupid movies being good.
what memeable dance will Shazam do for the sequel? Because the floss will be way outdated by then.
Does he floss in the film?
Briefly.
Oh, briefly.
You literally seen
Briefly
every
flosses.
frame of flossing in the trailer for the film.
Okay.
They really did sell it on the floss.
Well, because they're selling it to a younger audience.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they like to floss.
Yeah.
So I mean, it'll be.
Is Shazam 2 just him playing Fortnite?
Maybe they're gonna to bring in The Rock as Black Adam. They're gonna do like a Jumanji kind of thing with Fortnite, where
Great.
they end up in. It's gonna be a whole just weird mess. This is why I don't write movies.
Also, if you want to see an older person do the floss, there is a lot of great video on Ted Danson's Twitter of him learning how to floss.
Ted Danson. Like, media mogul, buffalo meat guy, Ted Danson?
Yeah.
Wow. All right, stop what you're doing. Watch that. Come back.
Yeah.
If make time for us after seeing that, because that does actually seem. I wanted the subplot of today's show to be us just shaming Billy into doing the floss on camera. And he's not in the room. He
wise
knew.
choice.
I think he overheard and just he got out. But next time, make sure you hit up Billy on Twitter and tell him that you want to see him floss on tomorrow's SJU. Speaking of things that you want to stick around and be able to see, make sure you subscribe to Screen Junkies News. Hit the bells. Do whatever it is you need to do so you can see great content, like making our poor producer floss on camera.
Thus killing the floss.
Thus permanently killing the floss. We're really secretly doing it sort of a justice.
Before we move on, because I saw the question here on the script, and I would like to briefly address it, but yes, I haven't seen it, so it'll be tough to get into a full-blown discussion. But there was also, it talks about there, and I've seen it too, the criticism that the movie's too scary.
Oh.
Because it has some scary. David F. Sandberg got his start in the horror genre, and it does definitely have some scary elements. And there's been some complaints I read that people said it's
Yeah,
too
I hear
scary.
he yells Shazam, and yelling frightens me.
Yeah, well, he does do that. So
Okay.
that's number one on the list. If yelling frightens you, then he does yell
can't
the
just
word
say
Shazam.
I've had long-standing nightmares of being trapped in the body of an older, larger person.
But there are some like monster.
That's actually my fetish. It's weird.
This is a big mistake. There are some
That's the Screen Junkies
monster
promise.
type creatures that are not in the marketing. But I would also say that if you take your kids to the movie and you're upset that it's too scary for them, again, it's rated PG-13. That's the warning.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is very fair.
That, as a matter of fact, talk amongst yourselves, and I will say why it's rated PG-13. I've seen this complaint, and it bothers me because the idea that like I took my 7-year-old to this PG-13 movie, and it was too intense for them. Well, yeah, it's rated PG-13 for a reason.
Yeah, the
They don't-
13's right in the name.
The
guys.
13 is right there. It's right in the rating. I'm gonna look up. Sorry, this is the best part. Rated PG-13 for intense sequences of action, language, and suggestive material.
Intense
Sequences of action. So stop complaining. I'm sorry. And number two, when I was a kid, the PG movies were way more effed up than anything that's in Shazam. Go
is true.
show your kids Never-Ending Story and come back to us and tell me how effed up Shazam is.
Yeah,
Yep.
horse
They don't
dies in that
drown in
movie.
animals in
definitely
Shazam. Yeah,
Yep.
it's like, jeez.
Show your
Louise.
kids Garbage Pail Kids.
Oh no, thank you. Oh, that's still I don't like it. That one still that gave me nightmares for
wrong.
weeks.
Same.
Yeah.
Oof.
We'll make that a Friday conversation. What reoccurring nightmares did Garbage Pail Kids
Yeah.
give you?
Well, that lady turning
Several.
into a robot in Superman 3 is 12 times scarier than the stupid things in Shazam.
I also
That's-
forgot about that.
But yes, if you're complaining about Shazam being too intense for your kids, look at the effing ratings, man.
R does not stand for really fun for the whole family. That was the mistake I made taking my family to see Rambo. The most recent Rambo.
The
Yeah.
R is for Rambo.
Rambo rocks for the whole family.
Rambo, rated R for Rambo.
When I went to the movie theater, we had people who would bring their kids in to see 8mm.
the snuff
of the
film
type of
movie
film.
with Nicolas Cage?
Oh, wow.
And I started warning people because I was working concessions, and I was like, no, you don't want to do this. And they'd be like, we already bought the tickets. Don't tell me what my kid can't see. And then 20 minutes later, as they're dragging a crying kid out of the theater because they saw the first scene of the movie, and I'm just like smug, shoveling popcorn into bags.
As you should. What about the 8mm trailer? Do you think people were like, I'm taking Ryan to see this?
I would just
Sweet young boy. my sweet child.
Probably thought it was Super 8. Although I guess those were never in theaters at the same time.
I guess it's just Nicolas Cage had been in so much fun stuff like Con Air and all these other things. I guess they thought this would just be a fun movie about
kids to see Con Air either. There's a little rapist is one of the main characters. Kids shouldn't be watching that.
It's about
movie
a
either.
bunny and putting the bunny back in the box. He's just trying to get his toy back home to his kid. It's like Jingle All the Way.
I also like the
Rapist.
idea. I like the idea that because an actor has done a thing your kids have seen before, that is all they're gonna do. Like they're Kermit.
Yeah.
Like, all of Nick Cage's stuff will be Muppet Fair from
See,
now
well,
on.
and now I can't wait to see the Dark Kermit movie. So thank you for that.
I would love to see a hard R 8mm Muppet film. I think it should be done.
Waka waka waka. Honestly, you only hear it.
Yeah.
It's like George C. Scott in whatever movie that is. You just see them like, oh, and
Kermit's flailing his arms when he's watching it.
How do we get here?
This is how we vamp, gentlemen.
Shazam 2.
This is not my beautiful house. Honestly, I think that's what Henson wanted to do, just based on like
Dark Crystal.
seeing his history. Like, and I think he was just like, oh wait, the adorable stuff is making us money. So okay, fine, we'll teach kids beautiful, wonderful lessons, but I really want to make some.
I do like the idea that Kermit chooses his own roles, though.
You're just staring at a stack of scripts like, what is this crap?
Who does Kermit? Is it Brian Henson that does Kermit now?
believe
I
so.
like the idea of people just being like, Brian, you're just being difficult right now. Stop pretending to be Kermit. And he's like, no, we're not doing this one. It's like, oh, Jesus, he's insane. Story number 2. Netflix is acquiring the Egyptian theater, also via Deadline. So this is sort of an Amazon buys Whole Foods kind of weird thing. Netflix is in, or it might not be. I actually have not read through the story.
Yeah.
Netflix is in preliminary talks with the American Cinematic to buy the vulnerable Egyptian theater on Hollywood Boulevard. So this is a historical space here in Hollywood. This is anytime you see a picture of a bunch of people in off-brand character costumes and tourists taking photos with them. This is in front of the Egyptian.
I believe that's the Chinese.
Chinese.
Is that in front of the
Yeah.
Chinese? None of them in front of the
Just
Egyptian?
down the road to spell. But across the street, go east a couple
Sorry.
blocks, and you're at the Egyptian.
Which one has 2 gaps next to it?
It's the one that everyone.
That's the Chinese.
Yeah, that's the Chinese theater. It's the one that everyone's cosplaying as like an extra from Fury Road, but
You're right.
But maybe not on purpose.
You're right. No, you're right. That's where the gap is, and the Egyptian has the Old Navy. I want to make sure I really respect our Los Angeles landmarks.
Everyone's
believe the
trying to have you
Egyptian-
listen to their mixtape.
Yeah.
I believe the Egyptian is right next to a huge Scientology center, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
True story, not a Hollywood joke. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, there's literally right off camera. There's a huge Scientology center
That's true.
on the set. There's just a guy.
That's what they were putting in the bathroom.
There's just one extra urinal and a guy that wants to give you stress tests.
Yes.
All right. So this is the first brick and mortar movie theater acquisition for Netflix. Sources say it would be wrong to eye this as the start of a move into the operational theater business. This is a deal that sources place in the many tens of millions of dollars. It'll put Netflix in good standing with the Hollywood cinephile community as the disruptive streaming company helps to preserve one of Hollywood's landmark movie theaters and its long tradition. It also puts the nonprofit company that sort of currently runs and operates the space in better financial footing. The deal will not impact Netflix's ongoing relationship with independent theater chains that show its films like Landmark and Epic Theaters. So this is, I think initially, people can look at this and being like, oh, this is going to be their out for like showing prestige films to get awards, and
They're probably right.
they are probably correct.
That's probably very accurate.
Yes. I mean, it keeps a very cool space and a cool theater safe, but at the same time, it is probably just so that they can show Roma 2 there for 3 months and only there and get in a nice Academy run.
I hear Black Adam's in Roma too. It's going to be much bigger in China.
Yeah.
They have The Rock.
The Bo Staff guy flosses.
Yes, he
Yeah,
will floss.
definite flossing.
Yeah, no, I think we've talked about this just like spitballing for a long time of like, why doesn't Netflix buy either a small theater chain or just like one theater? I don't know. I feel like they're doing this as much as they spend on content. This is like the change they find in the couch cushions at the office. Like they could buy a movie theater, and like you said, like this lets them just choose your own adventure for what they want to do to qualify for award season. Is you got to have it play in a theater? Oh well, we'll just pipe it down the street.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
And the thing with the American Cinematheque is the Aero Theater and the Egyptian, they are a nonprofit organization. And so they are always in need of money. The thing that really kept me off the fence on this necessarily, kind of skeptical, and you do always have to hope that they follow through. But according to the deal, it's closer to a partnership. They're still going to be allowed to do, because the American Cinematheque does so many great events here in Los Angeles through the Aero Theater and the Egyptian. The Aero is where I saw Lawrence of Arabia. Nice. On the big screen. The fact that's the kinds of things that they do, that they program here in LA, so that those kinds of things will still be autonomous, that they'll be on the weekends. They're still going to do the festivals. Leonard Maltin's festival, Maltin Fest, is at the Egyptian. They're still going
so high at Maltin Fest last year. Oh, I'm still coming down.
High on cinema. Tripping celluloids, man. Yeah. So that's not going to be touched as the weekend things, supposedly, and so I think this is going to be their thing to say, like, we gave the Irishman a release. Look, it was playing at the Egyptian for a month, or when they want to do big premieres and stuff. So yes, it is. I think it's an image thing for Netflix as far as like, see, we're committed to theater things. We have the Egyptian and we ran on the Egyptian. But hey, that's somewhere where people can go see the Irishman on the big screen. So I'm in favor of that. If it's somewhere that's going to run Roma, then I'm in favor of that. I know that doesn't put it in a theater anywhere else in the country, but if you live in LA, I mean, it's the tiniest baby of baby steps.
I want them to smugly name a screening room after Steven Spielberg. Like, I just want them to have a Spielberg room.
Spielberg theater.
Yeah. They're going to rename it the F.U. Steven Spielberg Egyptian Theater.
Yep.
Yeah.
What a time. Hey, guys. You know what else is cool?
Can I just
what?
Small show hijacking thing that this just reminded me of that I thought was funny.
Hijack away.
You guys know Crackle, that streaming service?
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys hear it got bought by Chicken Soup for the Soul?
What?
Yes.
Explain. You have the floor.
I just thought that was funny, and then I was imagining a whole Chicken Soup for the Soul theater in Los Angeles where you could view Crackle programming, and it made me laugh, and I figured now's the time to say it out loud, or I would just...
So is it going to be comedians in cars getting chicken soup for the soul?
Chicken Soup for the Soul.
I know it's on Netflix.
In the world of everyone having a streaming service, I thought that was truly the ultimate.
I want to break this down.
Yeah.
Because step one, there's a series of books called Chicken Soup for Various Kinds of Souls.
Yes.
There's the teenage soul.
Mothers,
there's the grandmothers.
A lot of chicken soup.
And then even within those, there's subgenres. There's the Christian mother's soul and the single mother's soul and the blah, 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 blah. Okay, so then now we're saying they're also a production company or some kind of company, a chicken soul.
They're a
LLC.
player in the streaming game.
It's called Crackle Plus, too.
Crackle Plus!
Yes, it's called Crackle Plus.
I knew it! If we could have just hung on for one more year!
We're ahead of our time.
There's a weird alternate reality where we were purchased by Chicken Soup for the Soul.
Oh yeah, well, I'm sure we were close.
Chicken Soup for the snarky ass movie nerd.
Chicken soup for the Aquaman fan soul.
Yeah.
Chicken soup for the Captain Marvel fan soul.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Would have been interesting.
Yeah.
Those are different books than do they also own the Tuesday with Maury guys books?
Oh, I think that might be the same.
Is that a verse?
Yeah, it's the Maury verse.
The Maury verse. Cool.
They got every day of the week with Maury, and they got every type of chicken soup.
Yeah.
And now they have crackle.
You got a stew going.
A very inspiring stew.
I can't
like
wait
this.
for Reader's Digest eventual leap into
Thank
this.
God.
The Digestiverse.
Digestiverse.
Yes.
Presenting College Humor.
Oh wow.
Too soon.
Everybody's gonna get bought up by someone weird.
Yeah, we're all Disney now. Sorry for that digression. I figured.
No, I'd honestly rather talk about that than Monsters Inc. Story number 3, Monsters Inc. The voice cast is returning for Disney Plus. This is via to her. Again, Disney Plus throwing a whole lot of money at their streaming service.
Yes, they are.
This is the original voice cast of Monsters Inc. returning for a series. That means John Goodman. That means Billy Crystal. Along with a lot of new cast members. Henry Winkler is going to be in it. Kelly Marie Tran is going to be in it. Aisha Tyler is going to be in it. Just a ton of really cool voice talent being put into this thing. Yeah. And Mortal Engines was our honest trailer today, but Disney Plus is definitely the weird giant city driving around going and like eating other smaller streaming services while Iger walks around going Haster, like that's
A Predator stream service.
the age of the Predator streaming services. Yeah, this is man, they're putting a lot of money into this thing.
They're going after Netflix. I mean, their goal is clearly to be as big as, if not bigger than.
Yeah.
And that's what's Netflix production budget? It's in the tens of billions.
Yeah.
And Disney has that, or at least could get
I mean, based on story number 1, they definitely have spite money. So
they have money to spare to spite their foes with.
Although that was the most but I saw that they released, Deadline released their 5 biggest flops of 2018 list yesterday, and Disney had 3 of them.
Yeah.
It was Solo, Wrinkle in Time, and Nutcracker in the Four Realms, which, as Lon Harris says, not enough realms.
Not enough realms.
I don't show up for anything less than 8 realms. Lon's joke, not mine. It was a total of about $350 million total in losses for just
350.
Yeah,
That's nothing.
for those 3 movies. That's not chump change. When you add that to the fact that they are also pumped hundreds of millions of dollars, if not more, I think it might be more, in deficit or whatever, spending into their streaming service. It's I know that they make a lot of hit movies, but they're racking up some other things. I hope everything continues to go well for them.
I'm assuming
How much is a Dole Whip?
Yeah.
How much does a Dole Whip cost?
Well, that's true.
$8?
On the entertainment side, not the theme park
Yeah.
side.
It's
Yes.
pineapples and ice. Maybe some yogurt at some point.
I honestly
briefly
feel
kissed a powdered yogurt packet. That's $8.
I'm assuming Galaxy's Edge is going to charge by the hour that you're there, and it's going to be very hard to get out.
Oh,
So that you're just
Have
racking
you
up.
heard about what you have to do to get into Galaxy's Edge? I was reading, you're gonna have to get to Disneyland within 30 minutes of closing time to get into Disneyland. Just to get into Disneyland they were projecting for 6 months.
Wow.
And then, but once you're inside the park, you then have to, because Galaxy's Edge is metered, then you have to stand in line to get into Galaxy's Edge inside the park. So you have to stand in line to get into the park, inside the park.
Woof.
And then I'm sure inside Galaxy's Edge, then you have to stand in line for the rides. So it's you have to stand in line to stand in line to stand in line. How much can you actually do in one day?
Also, if
at Galaxy's
that
Edge?
weird Falcon simulator is still, I mean, we've talked about that on the show before. It's supposed to be a 15-minute long experience for 8 people at a time or
Wow.
something. You're never getting.
Oh yeah, to
That
see
is
the life-size
gonna be-
Falcon, just shoulder to shoulder,
Yeah.
just squeaking your way down the hall.
Cool. This
That
is
is
fun.
going to be
They
crazy.
actually put people
Yeah.
in the hidden cargo holds. Stuff them in there I'm cargo.
Yeah, the only
Take a picture.
The only people that are going to get to enjoy that is when they shut the park down for famouses. Those are
Yeah.
the only people that are
Yeah.
going to get to enjoy that experience.
Yeah, 100%.
On
Or
Influencer
in
Day
5
or whatever.
to 10 years.
Yeah, when we're all done with it.
yeah, when we
We're
all-
all over it.
And the Dole Whips there will be $18, but they'll have a little cinnamon on top and be it's a Corellia razzmatazz.
Carillion razzmatazz. The sweetest treat in the galaxy.
Tastes like a cinnamon Dole Whip. That's how you know it's correctly.
Get out! And then you just get escorted out by Disney police for dissing their Dole Whip.
Oh, yes. Escorted out through the underground tunnels.
Yep.
But you could probably make there'd be some good movies made of what was that iPhone movie that they shot at Disneyland without their knowledge?
Oh yeah, Magic Kingdom or Land of Tomorrow, or it was like a play on a Disney thing.
I'd watch like a Sicario style movie like about smuggling people into and out of Galaxy's Edge.
That's how ironic. You would need a Han Solo type smuggler to get you into Galaxy's Edge.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. It will literally look like a weird Star Wars-esque situation with like sort of the haves, the VIPs being escorted in by a bunch of like First Order troopers.
Yep.
Like getting them in like ahead of the line.
I'd like to get into Galaxy's Edge, please.
Yeah.
I know they don't like the Canto Bite sequence, but you know, like having to free the Disney employees, they gallop out of there. They're riding on the backs of like long-suffering park employees. You're free.
Oh.
What other?
Monsters Inc. What do you guys say?
I mean, Billy Crystal's quote must have come down since, you know, the early 2000s.
How dare you?
How dare you? He's Billy Crystal. He's a treasure.
Yeah.
He was in City Slickers.
But Goodman's went up.
2 of them.
Goodman's
So
went up. You're right.
it's
Evens out.
offsetting because we're in a great. I love where we are with Goodman right now.
Yeah.
We're in a good place,
Man.
man.
I'm still thinking of other terrible Galaxy's Edge attractions. That's where I'm at now.
Clearly his quote went up, though, because you couldn't afford to get him to, like, ruin Big Lebowski for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they're still running that ad, and I'm a little bummed out by it.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
Yeah. I mean, Jeff Bridges doesn't care. It's like, sure,
Yeah,
man.
Jeff Bridges.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he's fine. He's like, I think he just likes that sweater.
Trim tabs, man.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
cool. Like, all right, yes, but
Let's do the mother. I get to put on.
Here
the...
isn't even his drink. Whatever. I was probably gone for when we complained about that.
You were. We did complain though.
We
We
did.
complained good and hard.
are Sex and the City fans as upset about Sarah Jessica Parker as Big Lebowski fans are at the dude? That's a good
That
question.
I don't know. I don't
Tell
know
us
if the
in the comments
characterization
below.
of her was off.
I love that it still says
not
Disney
true.
plus Monsters Inc. underneath us, and we have discussed neither of them in 15 minutes.
Nope.
I was walking.
Screen Junkies promise.
Taking a walk with my wife a few weeks ago and discussing. We were talking about a podcast we might make. Is there any interest if she had to watch an episode of Entourage every week and I had to watch an episode of Sex and the City every week? Because neither of us had ever seen the opposite one, and we both think that they're terrible, but both loved them at the time. So in revisiting,
I mean, you've got one
Sex-
subscriber.
Sex and the
Yeah.
Entourage.
2. I'm in.
Okay.
I'm in.
Yeah.
All right, good.
You got to make it.
You gotta make it now.
All right, done.
What show is your kid gonna watch? It's got to be a family affair.
God.
Monsters
Will
work.
they even be watching shows at that point, or will they be like doing real Fortnite? Will children be locked in cages?
Completely
Like,
fair.
Yeah.
Let's close out. We got a cool fan question that we wanted to close out on. This is from Pandian, who's asked this a few times, so we wanted to make sure that we got it in. Hey, Screen Junkies. I grew up in China, and over there, almost all movies have Chinese and English subtitles. It's done to improve literacy in China and to avoid people not understanding the movie because of how very different dialects in China can be. It was a surprise for me when I came to America and realized that not only do movies here not have subtitles in theaters, but people generally don't like reading subtitles. Americans, we don't like to read. We don't.
We just don't like to go backwards. It's like there was reading and then there was video, and it's like we're not
In the beginning.
We're not going to take a step back, like onwards.
I get that subtitles can break the immersion of movies sometimes, but at the same time, whenever I watch a movie like Hell or High Water, I desperately want subtitles so I can
you and
understand
me
what
both.
Jeff
You-
Bridges
yeah,
is saying.
that's universal.
Fair.
That is
That's
definitely
completely
fair.
What's your opinion on the matter? How would you react if all movies suddenly had subtitles? I watched at least the first, back in college when I saw the BBC Office for the first time, I think I watched the first 6 with subtitles because I was like,
sure.
I don't know what Ricky
Yeah.
Gervais
It's tough,
is saying. Yeah. Just until I sort of adjusted to everyone's accents.
Yeah,
And
it's like what's a lorry?
Yeah, I don't. Is that the guy in House? Like, what?
How am I supposed to know a lift is an elevator? That's insane.
It was less about the slang and more that all the dry smugness was this. It's just good, and then is it? And I was like, I don't know. My brain won't
The
process
Office
this.
is particularly the original British Office, being like, "Oh God, why can follow you about again?"
It's all mumbling. It's like very mumblecore. Yeah.
I'm sure it's easy, and we don't have the ear for it. But yeah, it's like Ricky Gervais is like, "Hey, now it's okay."
And I say that knowing full well I come from a place where everybody's saying, "Dave says, I think we're going to go down to Walmart," and then up on the up jumps the boogie. Like I understand that accents.
Yeah, I mean, I think the key phrase that Penn Diane pointed out was dialects, and if I imagine China, an enormous place, has a lot of different dialects, and the same is true in America. And yes, when there are some dialects where I need subtitles. I was watching True Detective season 3.
Oh, Lord.
And then there's crucial information that is done in such a low drawl, a low muttery drawl. Like I had to rewind, turn on closed captioning, and go back over it.
Closed captioning does help. I mean, as much as I love Shaun of the Dead, the first time I watched it with the subtitles, I was like, oh, because there'd be lines with Nick Frost where in the movie's like, I don't know about that, let's dive it. And then I was like, oh, that's okay, yes.
Good line.
It's a good line.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, I agree with Jeff Bridges. I needed subtitles and do need subtitles for many of his performances. I mean, there would be a revolt, I think, if there was automatically subtitles on everything. Although it's not so bad. Mara watches everything with subtitles.
Yeah, I watch
and
everything with subtitles,
I'm
too.
adjusted to it, and it actually helps sometimes. So,
Yeah.
but people don't always want that, and I get it.
That bums me out because I watch everything with subtitles. In fact, I like to joke that like the best thing that you get when you break up with me is you can turn the subtitles off on all of your stuff, and you no longer have to deal with it. But even then, there are some shows that are so quiet that you need them too. Mad Men is a really quiet show. It's just a bunch of people standing around doing Ibsen or whatever, and I find that subtitles really help with that as well.
Yeah,
Buddy,
I find I forget they're there after a while too. Like eventually, your brain just clicks in with subtitles, and especially if you're watching Netflix, because I feel like if you dig in the right places, Netflix is now like 70% really cool series from Japan and Korea. Yeah. And so jumping in, there's I just lost it off the top of my head, but there's a really cool Korean zombie show on there that you should check out. It's rad. But eventually the subtitles just start to click and you forget you're reading them.
Yeah. They can break the immersion sometimes for a first-time view. Like I don't necessarily know if I would want them in theaters all the time, because you can read ahead sometimes, and that could take the impact out of it. But I didn't know that about China, and I like the fact that a lot of Chinese films provide that subtitle, particularly because that's a great reason. Because with so many different dialects, you want to make sure that everyone can understand.
I will be the lone voice of, and obviously for foreign films, you need them. They're necessary. It's great.
Yeah.
But films are always better without it. I'm sorry. It's like,
They're
it's
so
a
good.
visual.
I like the words.
Words are great. I love words. Don't get me wrong. Some of my favorite words
Are words.
Are words. But film, like you want, like the director has pointed the camera at something for a reason, and you should be looking where the camera's pointing, and not always in the bottom.
What if they make
eighth
the
of screen.
subtitles super sick, like Night Watch? Remember that movie?
I actually do like it when they work the subtitles into. I think Sicario again did that, and I guess not subtitles really, but like Sherlock does it, like the series where things are worked into the frame itself, where like you're not your eyes aren't always drawn to the center bottom of the frame. Like it's a better experience, I think, when your eye can roam.
Can move around.
I want them all in Monster Energy font.
Yeah,
That's how I want mine.
Yeah, like
yeah.
Affliction subtitles.
All no fear.
Yeah,
all no fear.
and
font.
like translated into bro.
Yes,
Yes.
please. It's my dialect. It's the only one that I speak.
I like it.
Well, guys, we did it.
Was that show called Kingdom, by the way, Joe?
That is the show. It's
Kingdom.
called Kingdom. Thank you, Ryan. It's a zombie series that you should watch. Really fun. Make sure to check it out, you guys. And it is in subtitles, which is good, because otherwise I would have no idea what was happening on the show other than zombies. Guys, that's it. We've come to the end of our journey. We talked subtitles. We talked Monsters, Inc. We talked Chicken Soup for the Soul. As much as needed, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to get reamed by people who are like, I love Monsters, Inc., you monster.
I know. It's a show. It's coming
they got
back.
everyone back.
They
Sounds
got
great.
everyone
It's
back.
going to be great. There's nothing to say about something that sounds like it's fun. and will happen.
Yeah. there's no clicks in us being happy. That's ridiculous. Tune in tomorrow. We'll be talking about other things. I don't know what they are yet. You'll probably find out at pretty much the same time we do.
It's true.
We'll see you then. Bye, guys.